Hey, church, this is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for another study. Today, we're going to be in John chapter 13. Before we do dive in, shout out today goes to Ronald Pinegar from somewhere in Iowa. When you guys write to me, you got to tell me what city you're from so I know. But anyway, Ronald leads a group of guys that he communicates on a daily basis with using our devotionals, by the way, and he calls them Hey Prayer Guys. Hey Prayer Guys. And here's what he's discipled them to do, is to just spontaneously pray for people that God has brought to their mind. Ronald, I love what you're doing here, just discipling men into becoming and understanding what it means to be the church. Shout out to all those guys. Shout out to you. Thanks for being the church. This is what we do here. I love you. Keep it up. This devotional is for you today. John chapter 13. I'm going to read verses 15 all the way down through 20. It reads, "For I," that's Jesus, "have given you an example that you should also do just as I have done to you." Remember, he has just washed their feet. "Truly, truly, I say to you, a servant is not greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him." He's making a reference to what he wants them to do, but also what he is doing, that Jesus is a messenger from God who's delivering a message from him, and that God is the one who is greater than him at the moment. If you know these things, blessed are you if you do them. In other words, there's blessings that come from this, all right? "I am not speaking of all of you. I know whom I have chosen." He knew every one of the 12 that he has chosen, is what he means. "But the scripture will be fulfilled." Now, this is prophecy. "He who ate my bread has lifted his heel against me." In other words, they don't exactly understand what he's saying at this moment to the 12, but one does. It's Judas, the one who's going to sell him out, who actually has already sold him out. "I am telling you this now before it takes place, that when it does take place, you may believe that I am he." In other words, he's giving them more evidence that he is actually divine and understands everything that's going to happen to him in these final days. "Truly, truly, I say to you, whoever receives the one I send receives me, and whoever receives me receives the one who sent me." Now, guys, here is what Jesus was telling them and telling us, of course, today. It's just this. We are merely messengers of God's message, and we are required to humbly communicate this to the world. That's it. It's a message for all people, and the people are either going to receive it and accept it, or they're going to reject it and actually conspire against it. And don't miss this. Those who reject it aren't just politely saying no and then allowing us as believers to have our freedom of belief. No, they're going to actually grow combative. They will escalate their efforts to the point that they will intentionally conspire against the message and the messengers. This happened to them in their day. It happened to Jesus, and it's going to happen to us. And it will happen from inside of church ranks. And you better believe that's happening right now, today. In fact, this is why John wrote this gospel. He wanted us to know that Jesus was a messenger from God who relayed a message to his very own race and religion, who then plotted to infiltrate his inner circle, which led to his death in an attempt to silence the message. Do you see that? Now, our call today is just to stay true to the message and keep telling it, expecting opposition from outside and within. So here's the question. Are you communicating the message? Are you doing that? In fact, what I've done today inside of the text, and you can read it for yourself, there are some ideas just to get you started, some things for you to think about. Maybe you have a way that you want to communicate the message that's unique to you. I want you to step into that today. Start communicating it, because if you're not experiencing opposition in your life, then maybe you're not communicating the message. I love you guys. I pray this has blessed you. If it has, share it with someone else. And if you wish to opine at any time, you got to tell me your first and last name and the city from which you're writing. I love you guys. We'll see you right back here again tomorrow.